Hotep, everybody. I'm Brother Blanks, founding chief president here at Black Abolition Movement for the Mind, located here in the Chicagoland area of the city of Waukegan, here in the first ward on the south side, oftentimes affectionately known as the Set, here on McAllister Avenue. It is about this time of the year that I find myself taking what I consider as a Arthur Brumfield break. And for many of you maybe watching out in Facebook land or whatever the case may be, you might not know who Mr. Brumfield is, but Mr. Brumfield in this area was what is considered as a mathematician. He was an educator in this area. He's a freedom fighter in this area and beyond. He contributed a lot to this community. And today, August the 10th, 2025, August the 10th, 2025, marks the 10th anniversary of the destruction of Mr. Brumfield's home, which is prime property on the lakefront here in Waukegan. In fact, Mr. Brumfield's home was less than maybe a quarter of a mile off Lake Michigan. Bought and paid for, free and clear, block home at that. But the city saw fit to tear his house down and destroy the house, ultimately, in my opinion, destroying the man. This is Mr. Brumfield's livelihood. He was a good friend of mine, but after the destruction of his home, I got to know him quite well. Mr. Brumfield had pitched camp on his property, and he refused to give in to their demands of, he's a very eccentric brother. But the fact of it is, if you Google Arthur Brumfield in the city of Waukegan, it'll bring up a lot of information. If you Google specifically Mr. Arthur Brumfield of Waukegan rezoning, where he opposed to the rezoning of his home in the name of gentrification. And after opposing the rezoning of his home, and that was all his property, I should say, because that was in 2017, I believe 2017, that he opposed the rezoning of his property because he had torn his property down, torn his home down, and destroyed his home in 2015. But they was coming for the land. And this was a man who I often say was a man of principle over profit for his own personal pockets. This is a man who would literally give you whatever he had. But when the city said the reason they tore his house down is they said that they was trying to work with him. I know for sure in the means and how they would try to work with him based on my previous experience. When you come in with code enforcers with a heavy hand who wants to make demands on a man who home is bought and paid for free and clear, Mr. Brumfield wasn't going because he just never felt like, I'm my home, you don't tell me what to do on my property. And so when they came with a heavy-handed approach to make this demands on this man, to tell him what he was going to do on his land, he resisted. And basically, when they was telling him what he was going to do and what he should do, Mr. Brumfield confided in me once he was living with me. He says, well, Blanks, their approach was working with him, according to Mr. Brumfield. He said certain elected officials of the city, or I should say administrative officials of the city and elected officials, no, there was some appointed officials under the code enforcement and the CDBG community block grant, Waukegan community block grant program. According to him, there was some that said to him, old man, we're going to tear down your house and we're going to put you in an old folks home. That's according to Mr. Brumfield. And ultimately, his house was torn down and they wanted to rezone the property. And however, he shared some things with me. They said he tore the house down because it didn't have lights, didn't have running water, and that it hadn't been no electricity there and for years. However, I would say when Mr. Brumfield, Barbara Brumfield, resided with me for a period of time, he revealed to me a light bill. And in that light bill, it showed a payment credit, not a disconnection notice. So, governments, that's what they do. Powerful governments will impose their power on people, particularly if they consider them as being powerless. But Mr. Brumfield was a powerful man here, wisdom and knowledge. And sometimes when you don't like what you see or what you cannot be, you rather break the mirror. And that was Mr. Brumfield. So ultimately, it cost him for being a man of principle over profits for his own personal pockets, or principle over political profits for his own personal pockets. So I have to take time to really pay homage to this man in every aspect of the word. And I can't go on. I just really can't say enough about this brother. He was truly a humanitarian. If there ever was one, there was nothing this brother wouldn't do for you or anybody else if you're doing the right thing. And even for some of those who may not even was doing the right thing. By no means what one consider was as a perfect man, if there is such a thing here on this planet. We all fall short. But here was a man who really defined for me what it means to really be a man of integrity and credibility. So big governments like to do things like destroy the lives of people. And, 10 years later, they look, 10 years later, people looking at with blanks. Well, why you keep bringing this up, man? This is 10 years later, man. The city and its administrators and officials are trying to bring this city together. So why are we going to keep bringing this up about Brumfield? It would be like asking Palestine, why do you keep wanting to bring this up about what's going on with them and Zionism and all that? Governments love to just say, let's get over it and let's move on. In spite of the fact people's homes are torn down, lives are destroyed, but in the best interest of gentrification, and in many cases where now they're talking about in Palestine, now they want to redevelop Palestine and have it looking something like the Las Vegas Strip, so to speak. But you try to tell them people, those brothers and sisters over there, to get over it. And I'm not here to get on with much of that because this is about Mr. Brumfield, but there's very little difference in destroying a country of people, very little difference in destroying the home of an individual man. What you see on the microcosm, as I often say, is what you see on the mall. What you see on the macrocosm is pretty much similar to what you see on the microcosm. Whether you're destroying a people or you're destroying an individual, it's the same playbook. So, but I won't let this city just move on over this man's dead body like nothing never happened. Whether it be the $500 impoundment of ripping people's lives apart here in this Waukegan area, or my good friend, my mentor's mentor, Barbara Brumfield. So, like I said, I'm just taking a pause today to make sure everybody stay enlightened and say, never forget the spirit of what that man, Mr. Brumfield, contributed to this Lake County area. and what they did to this man is what I know and I feel really put in his mind and really put a disdain in his mind and his life of what he considered back then as the Democrats, as he knew it then. So he just wasn't nothing nice you could tell Mr. Brumfield about the Democratic Party, because he felt that everybody that came after him and everybody that contributed for the most part to the destruction of his hand, most of them looked like him and was of a party called the Democratic Party. So I don't want to get into the political aspect of it. Well, you can't get around that. You can't get around that. Mr. Brumfield didn't. That's why Mr. Brumfield ran for president, I think twice, and maybe for mayor, I don't know how many times, because he was of the belief and he felt strongly about having a party outside of what we consider as the two major parties that we know in America, the Democratic and the Republican Party. So Mr. Brumfield was going to build his own party. That was his mind. And I was a part of what Mr. Brumfield shared and believed, and vice versa with what he believed. In his latter days, he was a member. He had Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. It's why I also would not let you forget this man, because he was a member of this organization. And he joined us. I was truly honored for him to end up working with us, and why we contributed right now to what we can call the Barbara Brumfield Community Garden. We're not where we really look to be. We continue to build on this garden every year, whether it's to cutting down the trees or whether it's keeping the property up. And we're looking for our third year to have a full crop. We got the trees back this year. We got some fencing up that we really want to close off, but that is truly to develop into something really nice and memorable for Barbara Brumfield, the Barbara Brumfield Community Garden. And I cannot say enough or thank his sister, Miss Sherrod, for allowing us to use that property in the name of Mr. Brumfield and what he contributed to this community. So, like I said, I just want to get on here and never let us to forget Mr. Brumfield over those who feel let's get on and let's get over it. Absolutely not. This city did a real disservice to the individual life of Mr. Brumfield and contributed to the worldwide crisis of homelessness. And if you let many tell it, they continue to. But I'm speaking today specifically for what I know, the facts of what happened to this man. This man. And I know the facts because with him being a part of my life for the time that he was and the information that he shared with me, this was a man of character, integrity, credibility, and definitely principle over profit for his own personal pockets. So I'm Brother Blanks. I'm here at Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. And today, I just want to close and say, paradise, peace, and power to Baba Arthur Brumfield. Hotel.